Welcome to Berlin, capital of Germany, a vibrant and exciting city of 3.65 million people. Dating back to the 13th century, it boasts a turbulent, if not at times ignominious history, and has come to symbolize the collapse of communism, and is now the crossroads of Europe. Take a walk along the seedy-looking pathway, and eventually you reach one of the city's main attractions, the Tiergarten, the animal garden, an expansive inner-city forest. Once the hunting grounds of royalty, it gives the impression that Berlin was built in the middle of a giant forest. But there is actually a good reason for all these trees. It's a typical Ice Age landscape, everything ground flat by huge sheets of ice, which also accounts for the thousands of lakes, some large, some small, and a very poor, sandy soil, up to 200 meters thick in places. And what better time of year to walk here than now, experience the rich colours and aromas of autumn. It's a park full of paths, most official, but look around and like a tree itself, there are dozens of unofficial man-made trails branching out in all directions, all shortcuts to somewhere. A forest symbolises the circle of life itself, of birth, growth, and finally death, from which new inevitably springs. Deadwood lies everywhere, fallen from the sky, and yet among it, everywhere there are the natural signs of regeneration. Birth and death, it's an almost symbiotic relationship. There are also the occasional visual guides, maps showing us our location, and directions to points of interest. Which is unlike real life, people have at best only history from which the future can sometimes be divined. Every life therefore becomes a personal journey of discovery. Despite its recent faults, Berlin has a grand history. For centuries it has been at the center of European culture, philosophical, technological, scientific. It's a true seat of learning, and its universities and complementary institutions are quite rightly world famous. And Berlin's rich cultural heritage is epitomized by the superb collection of world-class museums and galleries to be found here, a group of which, all situated on the centrally located island of museums, have themselves been awarded UNESCO World Heritage status. The city also continually confronts its past, as this former Second World War bunker demonstrates. Because its massive concrete construction has made it impractical to demolish without also blowing up half the neighbourhood, it has been repurposed and now provides a secure location for the Burroughs Brothers collection of contemporary art. But Berlin isn't all highbrow culture. Nothing now symbolises the city more than the rampant commercialisation of its Cold War past. It attracts hordes of tourists, all grateful for the opportunity to be photographed in front of the infamous East-West crossing point, Checkpoint Charlie. And yet the city struggles with its past. Reunification has caused massive problems. And although the alternative Berlin lifestyle is world famous, and responsible for more tourism than all the official art galleries and museums combined, it's one all based on poverty. The famous slogan "Berlin is poor, but sexy," only emphasizes the predicament, and the city is now a gigantic building site. Decades of underinvestment mean that whole blocks need gutting, thousands of old climate change-inducing brown coal ovens replacing, which has inevitably meant that rents have increased. It's a process known as gentrification. This is Markthal 9, a once basic fruit and vegetable market, now hipster street food paradise. What is there not to like? Except maybe the prices, and that the locals now have nowhere to do their weekly shopping. At the Kopi, a legalized squat, gentrification is coming up against strong and violent opposition, as it will ultimately mean the destruction of not only their homes, but of their lifestyle and community, and they are naturally very emotional about it. But it's a Stone Age lifestyle, one only made possible because of Berlin's unique situation. This transformation also acts as a magnet, drawing in a wide variety of newcomers, 30% of the inhabitants now boast a foreign heritage, which accounts for curious cultural crossovers such as this traditional fish and chip shop, one playing Indian music all day. It does have its advantages. It promotes a very creative atmosphere. Even the wall, once a symbol of oppression, is now a public art gallery, the East Side Gallery, and could be understood to be officially sanctioned graffiti. It's everywhere in Berlin, urban art. Traditional institutions also abound. Whole streets are full of galleries, catering for every conceivable taste in the arts. This is the Care of Berlin, a permanent photography gallery, exhibiting the works of modern photographers. Being the focus of political power means that everything is drawn towards it, and all the tech giants have a presence in the city. Apple, Facebook, and Google, as seen here, in what from the outside is a very anonymous looking building. But it's also the home of old media too, who tend to be rather more ostentatious. Axel Springer, Europe's largest digital publishing house, which owns Bild, Die Welt and employs more than 15,000 people, has recently completed construction of its very modern new head office, already a symbol of success. Our journeys end the Brandenburg Gate, and if there is a lesson to be learnt from our stroll, it's that change is not only possible, it's that it's actually inevitable. Nothing ever stays the same, and you either struggle against it, harking back to a golden age that never was, or you embrace it and enjoy the journey and the opportunities it offers.